Hello, everybody. Do you want this to be an important video mainly? Um, this one is more like a thoughts, like how can I say, like on Destiny 2, more in depth on my thoughts on Destiny 2, which is, if you guys don't know, it's going to be very important because okay, let's just say this, okay? Uh, Probably a month or two ago, DMG, a Bungie repo, has tweeted out saying that in the Witch Queen DLC, there might not be, there will be very much less content for this next DLC, which is going to be very important, which I do want to explain more on my thoughts because it's just stupid. Um, we have to like go back and like how Bungie was back in the day. Like that is something I need to explain. Like back in like 2000 or something, like Bungie, the game was more of put the fans first, but knowing the situation of Bungie right now, I mean, I can understand yes, no, maybe so, like, but it has no explanation on what's going on right now, which they are solo, but they're trying to get, how can I say that? Trying to get like more money off of us. Like that is something I do want to explain. Like, um, I don't think I've ever seen a company who, I mean, minus Call of Duty, but who would put money first probably into a game. Um, I'm not actually really. It might not be Call of Duty, but like Bungie is going to be the worst right now. Like it looks like more of like Bungie is going. It's like they want you to pay more. They are expecting you to pay more for their game, and it does. It mainly seems like it, which is something important. I don't know why. It. I don't know why. I just really don't. Um, Only reason why is because this is all going with the Witch Queen and DLC. Like this is something very important. Like I feel like I should just purposely leave the game, not support it because on what they're deciding on. Like, but it's um. But again, everybody has their own opinions. Like, I feel like we are not getting as much content as we should be getting into a game. Like Call of Duty Vanguard. Excuse me. I had I can actually go back to playing the game, but I had like probably more content into that game right now after completing the campaign than playing um like Destiny. I haven't even played it since like week 3 since it was released, like of this new season. Like this is how bad the game is. Like I do not know what's going on. Need I just don't know. I just feel like I just shouldn't be into the game. Like I actually have more fun playing like Skyrim, which is just released. I mean, the new Skyrim, sorry, the anniversary edition, which is very important to me. Oh, well, not very important, but it's been more fun to me. Um, you can say otherwise, but it's like, yeah, everybody has their own opinions, which is why I want to explain my thoughts on this. This is all opinions. This can be like, well, you're going against the game itself. Like, sure, I am, but I'm also going against the decision on this one. Like, we look at Halo. Like, we're gonna go with Halo for this decision. Like, Halo was supposed to be released in 2020. Okay. Within the graphics of the game, you have like, I don't think you have any rights to say like why they delayed it. Which, if you play the beta right now, especially with consoles, all consoles, I think like mainly Xbox and Xbox, yeah. Um, I can't confirm like PC. I don't know. I don't watch people anything on it. But the Xbox, it actually looks like they are doing something to the game. Like, not like they're just playing around with the game. And in Call, sorry, I think I have Call of Duty in my head now. and in Bungie, like, each time I see this, and it keeps going back in my head. Like, someone actually had a comment like, "Is the game going? Is the game good? Like, should I return back to the game? They haven't played it since the first DLC." It's like, I want to make a more in-depth video. Like, I said, like, it's good, but if you play for like 6 months, like, you want to stop. Like, it is getting that point. Like, we're going with game drought, whatever it's going to called, which is another thing that I can understand. Like, you have so many people probably into your servers, but you don't have so many workers making your next game. Like, I don't know how long it was. Like, what, 2 years, a year probably. I would say mainly a year just to be safe. No, actually 2 years because it's Forsaken and they left in Forsaken. So right before Shadowkeep, I would say like 2 years. I would say a year because it was mainly like probably like the last season. But the they are not solo, which means less people, which means less content. I feel like it shouldn't be this long, but again, I also feel like it should be this long. But the entirety of this needs to be like worked on. Like, if you have to put in delay so at least you can get more content in, I would be perfectly fine. Like, the seasons I feel are more of the line of just a way for like you to say like like that's why we are getting no game. The content drought is huge. Like, for everybody right now, like, that is, I feel like that's more important. Like, content drought is huge in each seasons, which presents in each its own like new story and all that. Like, we will be able to like Black Armory, like we were introduced into a new character. The Gambit one, I don't know what that one's called. It was boring at first, and it's like they bought it with something new, kind of challenging but new. It was another good one. But in each season, like, it takes what, like, how long is each season? Like, probably like 3 months. Like, it's so long for each season. Like, it just feels like we are just like being used for money, which is something I feel like that's, yeah, it's like we should have a reason to say something. Like, but no one probably won't want to talk about it because that's another thing. Like, people don't want to deal with this drama. Like, this is something that I feel like should be spoke to more often. Like, you have to realize, like, so many people play this game at first, and then because of the season and what they're doing, like, it's just so annoying with their content. Like, I just play like the same thing. Like, each new mission, each mission, like, from the season, it's going off with like from the very beginning. Like, so from like week 1, we will introduce like in order to complete the 6-play activity, you need to complete this main seasonal quest. You progress through it and you get this 6-play activity. But then in week 2, you have to do it again. Week 3, you have to do it again. Week 4, you have to do it again. I am unsure on who else would agree with this, but I feel like if I have to do that all day, like every week, like, I don't think I'm gonna play because what content you bring us something the same and it's so annoying. Entire time, if we have to play the exact same thing, like bring us to something that we wouldn't, that you don't see a lot of players in. Like I don't go to the EDZ anymore. Putting something in there that people did not realize that it's there. Like that's something that I feel like is very important because you would never expect like from one player to go over to this destination and realize that there is a secret here this entire time, and you could have just walked past it but just don't care because you just care for the game. Like that's something like I'm trying to think of the world, like Titan, I think that's what it's called. It's one of the maps that they removed, so for new players going to the game, you won't know it. Yes, it's sad. But it's more like no one really played the map. But some location that no one plays anymore or goes anymore because it's because everybody's going to PvP to the raid, and that's another thing that I do want to speak about. But getting to a location within the quest and adding something new, like a new boss, like I have so many thoughts that's so against it. It's so annoying. Like, I don't even want to speak about it because I have hopes, but then those hopes, it just seems like they just go away. And that's why I'm like, I don't want to speak about it because if I talk about it, then what else can they say? Like, sure, like I'm going against Bungie, but then it's like people are going to be like, you are so against like the community. Like, I should be more afraid of what they're doing. That's going to be against the community. So many people will like have played their games because they have like actually a story, like you are actually more into the campaign, but then this one it just feels like that you're just all alone. Like you I don't know, like this is all going off with my head. I'm not reading this off the script because it's so against it. Raids is another thing. So I'm gonna go with the raid part. How can they do this better? The raids, everybody has their own opinion. For first time players, like what can they do? How can they do it? Like everybody has so many different ideas, which is unique. But then it comes to trying to find a team that can teach. Like it's hard to even find that. I don't know about how many people have said anything about this one, but I still remember me not be able to play the two other Leviathan tiers, like I think it was a Spider of Stars and something else as one Cabal and one Vex. Like that's how I remember it. But everything was so lazy. Enough. Everything, it was like they expect you to know it. People have been saying it's easy, like, but then soon as you have to deal with it, like really people are thinking it's easy. Like I remember seeing like somebody saying like, and I'll teach you, like, but I'd seen nothing on teaching. Like after like like the little 24-hour thing, at least like a month is all I would say. Like a good way to actually represent like a video like in depth. Like a YouTube video should, but it's weapon if it's from the game itself, which is a topic, but which is a different topic. The game itself, I feel like it's more of like they're showing people like on the listening. Like, are we listening or are we just not paying attention? Like, that but completely like the raids are more of a just can you quickly learn it? Like when it first comes out, can you quickly learn it? Because no one else was going to teach you. Like that's how bad it is. Like that, so many people are not going against it. So many people are not going to learn it. The other thing was, which is going off of the raids, is the DPS. Like, I'm going to be biased with this one. My favorite was King's Fall. Okay, I do not know why people are so against this one. Because I've spoken to a lot of people for this. But so many people are so against King's Fall that it's unbelievable. The King's Fall raid actually presents like a new way to enter a boss room. In the boss room, feeling like you should be scared. Warpath was one of those. Like before entering the room, you have to go and step on pressure plates. If you hit 10, if there's no one there, you die. Like it is like a good mechanic form. But you have to go into the middle, wait till it's 10. If it's not 10, then it's then you can stay a little longer. But as soon as it hits, I think it's like 10. I believe. Do not quote me. But as soon as someone's there and they got an ore, you can move out, but make sure to kill a knight because the knight, like D1 DPS was so terrible. Like it, I'm gonna be completely honest. Like it was so terrible. I was, yeah. It's for like mainly like those knights and all that. But it's like a good way to enter a room for even a boss room. Even for like Warpath, which is another one. In order to do it, you have to. It's like the. I forgot how to completely do it. I had to go back in. I'm gonna be completely honest with everybody. I have to go back into playing that one. But all I remember is soon as you get done with the damage phase. Okay, and this is where people are gonna say like it might be a good idea. As soon as you get done with the damage phase, you need to hide behind one of those pillars. And those pillars are your only way of survival. If all three are done, that's your final. It was a good encounter, and I feel like it's more of my time's worth. I played more on that one than Wrath of Machine itself. Because that's how good that is. The, especially with the challenge, I think the challenge was, you have to defeat it with no of that pillars. It was using like all three pillars. After some people have been doing it like in one phase. It's like yes, that's actually a perfect way because that's you still get the challenge. You don't need to wait for the DPS. Like sometimes you have so many people who don't listen, and that's something. It's yeah, or they just don't realize on the DPS, so they continue to say like, oh, I'm going to do a little bit more damage. They do the damage. They screw up. It is so. Yeah, it's something very good. Gorgoth, which is another one, and this is where people are gonna say like, probably yes, no, it's more difficult. I find it enjoyable. More, this at the same level with the sisters. Okay, which sisters I don't even want to speak about, but you have to like what you do is you have to kill the ads. Um, you can have someone be selected to be targeted. Someone would be shooting the back to get attention. No, I don't remember what it is, but there will be 4 people on the ground doing DPS, and so many would be using whispers, so many using sleeper. I mean, that was the DPS that we needed. So many people have used it, and sometimes so many just don't realize like when you're selected, you have to run away. Like it was a good one because if you don't pay attention, then you can you can kill everybody right there. The DPS people would be dying. In hard mode, you don't have a token, so you have to be alive. If all 4 dead, you have to die. It was a good way to even personally represent the bots. Now, I am not going to say anything on the newer ones. I do not like it, honestly. The the Vault of Glass. I have my own opinions on that one. More of an if, like it's an if ands maybe. So like, I have my own opinions. But that raid, the Gorgoth was the best one for me to even say like, I would say yes. Give me something like that one as well. So passing on after Gorgoth, which was that little maze, like you have to skip the pillars that has to push you to the end. Secret chest in that room, yes. I mean, so many people go for it for like heavy synth. I go for it to see if there was an exotic. Sometimes it was exotic. Sometimes like even without the 3 coins. That's how I remember it. But it was good to use. You beat the room and then you have to go up. So many people enjoyed it. Like it was more like a race. Like let's see who beats it. Like it was one of those like friendly competition more as well. Like so many people don't realize that that's a good way to even enter a room for sisters with an energetic tone. Sisters, I don't want to explain. I do not remember how to complete it. I do not remember all of it. All I know is you have 2 damage phase. That has to be 2 damage phase because the first one is you have to kill the first sister. Second one, you have to kill the second sister, and then you survive, kill all the ads, and the chest appears. The Oryx, which is the final encounter for the King's Fall raid, which is another good one. My lord, I do not know why this one is. People want to do the challenge more than anything. It's like the challenge gotten a lot easier. So, how does it work? Well, I know that all I remember is the one part is from the sisters part mechanic. So we're gonna skip that one. I like I said, I do not remember that one. And then ogres appeared as soon as you step on the plate. Those ogres, if you do not do it, if it's not in that pool, like you might fail the challenge and you might fail like some DPS, which is very important to me. And you have to do it like 4 times? Yeah, 4 times. I think it's like 4 times, but it's so many times. But it's like more of a rinse repeat on that ogre part with the sisters. Right after the ogres appear, everybody goes like to the beginning because like I said, this is like another favorite. There's like a taken orb, I remember, in the area that you need to defend against taken thralls because they can enter that realm and spawns in that realm, which your other teammates have to go and defeat the taken orcs. And that taken orcs is also another thing you have to be careful. It's like the final mission for the Taken King. When you enter that realm, like he start charging at you, and then he just slams his sword on the ground. Sometimes it mainly kills people. Like, that is a funny thing. Trust me, it is a funny thing. But yeah, as soon as that is done, you have like 4 teleports in total. Because if you do not get it done within 4 teleports, which is something is important, your 6th person who's outside won't be able to defend taking against the thralls, which will start to overwhelm you. As soon as you defeat the Taken King, or the Taken King, or Orc Shadow. I don't remember what it's called, but as soon as you finish, you get teleported back. Then you can rinse repeat to get the sisters mechanic, ogres, and then do that again. But before you even enter the shadow, you have to shoot orcs. Like, it is a must before he kills you, which is another weapon mechanic everybody has to go and focus on. DPS damage was important for that one. And that was actually a good one. The next one, which was for like the final DPS, like when the aura person is in the middle, like I do it in the middle. I don't know what people do for it, but I do it in the middle, and then when everybody gets there, we start pushing more to the open, to just for everybody to shoot and be in the aura. The orbs, which is the important thing, like you detonate everything. Like, as soon as you see your name, you need to leave. Like, that is how fast you need to go. You need to go and take those orbs, because if not, then you have a limited time to get back to the aura to survive, which is another thing. That aura is also your save point as the final one, which is that 4. If you don't, then then you die. And sometimes you wipe, sometimes you don't. I mean, it may depend. The one thing I will say is, if you did the 4 orbs, which is, I think that was what it's called, a 4 orbs challenge, like, people, it's gotten very used to. All you have to do is just, instead of going into that shadow realm, like, you just have to go and kill orcs, which spawns at the very end as a final result. And you need to go and kill them by using everything you have, from Rocket Sleeper, Touch of Malice, which is another good one, Whisper. I think that's it. But if you do not do so much damage, like, each death ruins your DPS, which gives you the higher chance of dying as well, which is something else. But soon as everybody kills them, you get this satisfying, like, death animation, death scream of your final death. Not just an explosion. Like, I forgot what was the rocket launcher. I forgot the raid. Like I said, I have not played raids. Like, people expect you to know what to do. But that explosion, I don't get the satisfaction. Even though seeing his body right there, he actually had a death. Okay, the Takis or whatever his name is. Oh, it just felt like he explodes. Like, that's it. Like, what can we remember from? Excuse me. The only thing I see is more of a grind to get the weapon. it's so far into the grind. Like, at least in Taken King, it's so satisfying to even do the raid. Okay, even help people, because after a while you do want to help people doing the raid, teaching them what you know. Tell them, like, do not stress this raid out because this raid is the easiest, and then you help them out, and then they'll just be like, your teaching has taught them, even when it's their very first time getting to power level or light level 400, which was the max. But I don't see that with the Destiny 2 raids, especially with the Touch of Malice and the Taken King, which is another good one. You have to complete the King's Fall raid to get the quest, okay, which is very important. Okay, you know what to do now. Okay, what can you do to get the final components of the Touch of Malice? You have to go and kill all the bosses again, and you have to, because you cannot skip one or the other, because each one of them has something specific, and it was part of the quest. In each one of these, how can I say? Each one of these Destiny 2 raids, it is more of just play and hope and pray you get the weapon. That's how bad that is. Like, I don't see myself playing that much, because if I want to get the weapon, I want it as a quest form with dialogue and a new adventure. Like, that is not me. That's me. I don't want to go back into a raid, play it again, expect me to grab the weapon, expect me to take 5 hours out of my time, and I could be doing schoolwork. I can go back to work. Like, that's like pathetic on how that is. Like, I would say, like, don't do it for every raid. Like, but do it, like, in some cases, like, as soon as the raid comes out, like, don't say anything at it. Like, have like a secret, like, quest or secret chest, like, somewhere in the raid that gives you a quest saying, like, unknown weapon, like something unique, telling people, like, oh wow, there's actually a weapon. Like, even don't show it. Like, that's another thing. Like, I see, like, all these, like, question marks in D2. Like, I expect something, like, and then it's like, oh, I'm gonna get, no, like, I might already know what it is. It's so bad for them to show it, but we don't get to know it, that we already know it. Like, what was a rocket launcher that was part of the Shadow Keep, that if you shoot it, and it's a void rocket launcher, exotic, if you shoot it, it has so many projectiles coming out, and it can go after like 4 targets. Like, it has so many projectiles. That was when it showed, I immediately saw it saying, that's a new meta for Destiny 2. And sure enough, here's the meta in D2. I would not show it. Like, as soon as people get it, people are going to see, like, this is an unknown weapon, like, new weapon, like, what is it? And let's say, like, Outbreak Prime. Oh, Outbreak Perfected, how people say. I say Outbreak Prime because that's my weapon. That's the D1 weapon. But the Outbreak Prime, like, let's say, like, that was shown and you would die, killed by it, like, and you were like, what in the world is that? That is a little weird. And you notice, like, some good perks as soon as you inspect them, and it's like, that's an exotic? Like, what? I am more surprised on the fact that this had killed me and I have a god roll weapon. Like, of course, like, that is something, like, no one wants to hear, but it's also, like, you're trying to show off a new weapon without announcing it. Like I wouldn't mind like a couple like little so many hidden details within the game, but then trying to tell people like, hey, there's gonna be like a quest that you're gonna have to quickly find. Like, no, like why? You're spoiling it already. Like, there's nothing you can do. Like, people are already gonna look. I'll probably already be looking just to see what that quest is. And if I get some terrible rewards, what I would say like, no, this is not a good quest. Like, I do not want to see this quest. I would want to see. Like, I don't. I'm sorry, not quest. The reward. I would not want this reward. I would want a freight bringer. Like that right there. It's just more of like that's how Bungie is doing. Like, they're giving you a story, but it's not rewarding. I mean, sure enough, after a while, like, they are a low company. But it is also important to think ahead of time. Like, your reward for completing this quest is just not a shitty shotgun. It is some decent shotgun with an unknown perk. Like, bring something in that's new that people didn't know about. That, well, people knew about but don't know the roles. Like, each time, I don't know if I'm seeing this correctly. Like, each time I see so many people saying like, there's a new weapon and here are the roles. If I'm not mistaken, like that, I'm pretty sure I've been seeing that a lot. But that is also just spoiling it. Like, I already know now what I'm looking at. And if it's like one of those like vanilla of the game, like that you won't be able to randomize the roles, like really, that is so stupid. So the next one I do want to say is where they are going with this one, and it has been going on since the very beginning. And I will be telling you, I feel like my sister, who is a drawer, can make a better like design for this weapon. And yes, I'm talking about designs for weapons. Like, if you guys been noticing from vanilla, like, granted they have been not putting out new weapons. That's because if they do, I'm going to immediately accuse them of just reskinning it. Hey, look, here's an SMG. Here's a new SMG. Okay, it looks exactly like the Mida mini tool, and that's going to be the perfect example I'm going to use for the rest of the SMGs or whatever weapons. Like, they just use reskin, and I'm disappointed they continue to use reskins. Like, reskin, you just disappoint me. Like, I don't see myself using the weapon if I can just use the Mida mini tool that has the same perks. Like, it's so annoying. Even if it has to, like, even if they have to, like I said earlier, like, they have to stop real quick because they're missing a lot of stuff, like, or, like, they don't think it's good. Like, that's what 343 did. They stopped production of Halo so they can make the campaign more interesting. Like, when I first saw Halo, I am a huge fanboy of Halo. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest. When I first saw it, it blew my mind, and I actually cried. And I have never cried at a video game before. Unlike Halo, which I felt like after Halo 5, I was very disappointed. Halo Infinite actually brought something new and enlightenment. Like, a story-driven campaign for the players. Which one's Bungie now? Which one is Bungie? Like, is it now 3 for 3? Or is it actually you, Bungie? Like, that's how I put it. But redesign is I just see like everything like nothing new. Like the King's Fall weapon, we're gonna go back to it. The King's Fall weapon, what Hive like, and it actually shows like it very looks like Hive. So who is to judge if this weapon does not look cool if they just look like it belongs to like that kind of species, like the fallen. I don't know what weapon, like minus the Queen Breaker's bow, I believe that's what it's called. The linear fusion. I don't remember what it was. Like I said, I haven't played it in so long. Like we only have one known weapon in the Lord of Wolves, so two actually. We only have two weapons that I know that's from the Fallen. But what about giving us a legendary? Like that is something else as well that I do want to go off with. Sure, the Seasonal Splicer, like you can say like that's also Fallen. I feel like that's a shittier one. I feel like that's just the Vanguard making a weapon for that's not fully deadly for the Fallen. But that's where it goes off with. Like the design, I feel is also another important. Like it shows like they are actually putting so much work into it. I don't mind the emotes. I have no complaint. I do not have any problem with Eververse. I just don't go. I go over there every week just to see what's new. Probably every day. I haven't, like I said, I haven't been on to it, so I don't check anymore. But designs for weapons, I feel is also another good one for them to even look at. Okay. Now, for a story-driven campaign, I feel like Halo is the old Halo 100% beats everything in campaign. I did not see any flaws into it. Something, yeah. Okay. I don't see anything goes on against like Shadowkeep, which is the good one. Forsaken is another good one. Beyond Light, it's just like one of those like, what is going on? Like we all of a sudden just get like a new scene. It's just no, like a new scene. Like yeah, sure. Just like let me just go into another Crucible match just to see if I can win. That's how I feel on it. Like sure, like I can just go. They can just go and place it into another area. Just have you go to it, but have it like make sense. But the Beyond Light, I just feel like it's not worth my time. Like after I played it once, I just gave up. Like I completely gave up the campaign. Shadowkeep and Forsaken, I played twice. I played all three. Sorry, 3 times. Because it actually felt unique. Like you actually have something to work for. And Beyond Light, you don't have anything to work for. It doesn't feel like you have anything to work for, minus you gain the darkness power. As soon as I just get the darkness power, like they just tease you on it. That's another thing. They tease you on that, which is like, what? Is this more like a training exercise? Like, just no. But that's where my opinion is on the campaign. Like, how is the Witch Queen gonna go? Like, when Witch Queen comes into play, I'll be heading to the game. But as soon as it starts going bad and I see so many complaints, I will start agreeing. I would not have any positive feedback. It would be negative. Okay. I do want to hear everybody's thing, everybody's opinions. But until I see something good about the game, about Destiny 2, and I'm not going off with business. I feel like the content is more of my expertise. Like, it's just so blatant, like stupid. Like, you just have to do this. You have to do this. You're repeating it. I can go into work and repeat it. At least I have something to work at and make something out of it. Like, I make money at my job because I needed a job, and that's something that I don't even need to ask on my job. But if I have to ask like a company to make something good for the game, you're telling me that if a 19-year-old has to go and tell you your game has so very little content that it needs to continue to be worked on until otherwise, then what? Like, what is going on? Like, who is doing this? Like, not only that, but it goes off with production making. And like, they show off like the game into a live stream. Like, really? Like, I don't feel like you make the game like worth it. But again, like, production is something like more like something I would even suggest, but making sense, because like I said, that is not my responsibility to know. Because who knows, like, I may say like, hey, like, this is what I feel like you need to do, just to make this more advertising, make more people purchase this product. Like, no, like, I don't see a reason for me just to go and play this if I feel like I'm just being treated like your income. Oh, wait, just for you, just to make sure I play the game and make sure I throw my controller, because I'm editing a video. I will say this: I'm editing a video, and I'm trying to make sure I put in the spot where I have raged in. Like, and that is very important to me, because I'm sorry to say, but who else don't want to see a video where you just went in rage? Like, seriously, like I want to see myself rage going back in the video, and I do want to see people's reaction. Like, I'm already like halfway through, and I've been editing for an hour for that one, as yesterday. But the game just don't feel like balanced when it comes to like even like the stats, which that right there is also, I feel they need to focus on, and should be also another focus as like number priority like 3. I don't feel like it should be like as like a big of deal, but then you actually have to deal with people who have been getting shots first, and then they have a godwall weapon, but then you have like a hand cannon, a 140 hand cannon, which does the same, probably like, let's say like the same amount of damage as an SMG, but who gets killed by the hand cannon faster than the SMG. Like, if that's how it is, like, what is the point of the SMG? I feel like when it comes to the hand cannon, like when the hand cannon meta came out, what's the point of the like the assault rifle? Like, what? I feel like if I can have a choice, like, this would not be like this wouldn't be 100% here. Like, why would I even want this as? Why would I want to use this when I know the SMG that someone is killing me with, or the hand cannon is killing me with, I can use it. And then I've been noticing, like, even with the same SMG that I've went to use, that now I'm using the hand cannon, they're dying because I'm using a hand cannon. Like, soon as a meta comes out, it just does not feel comfortable. Of course, you know, everybody is not perfect, everything is not perfect, like, you have to go and balance it out. But then it's also going to be a problem if this goes with PvE, which is another huge topic. Where am I powerful? Like, am I powerful? Is my resilience high enough? Like, am I fast? Is my mobility fast? Like, I should not be focusing on that. I should be focusing on the power level or the light level that I have set. I feel like I just do like the same amount of damage to a player in PvP to when a Drake meleeing me feels like they're just doing like some assault rifle damage. Like, it feels like they are overpowering me more than I should be overpowering them. Like, that's how it feels. And I'm sorry, but I remember this. Okay, I played it like a couple days ago. A month or two ago. Or whatever my last video was. That one right there, I remember quickly going to EDZ, the very first starting position that you go, going to a lost sector behind Devon K, and leaving a Drake alive on purpose just for him to melee me. Which one does more damage? Does the assault rifle or the Drake? It feels like a Drake still does. Drake still does more damage. I just don't feel powerful if I have to go and do that. Okay, of course, you have like you're like under power, and then they recommend like, let's say like you're 320, and then this mission requires you to be 340, 350. Of course, yes, it's 100%. You need to get closer to that level, just start doing damage. Like, even if you're like one power under it, the enemies have like a slight advantage because it should be a little bit more powerful, which you should be careful of. But if you're very over, and you still have to be careful of that one, I feel like my gear just like, I feel like that is something you shouldn't be doing. But the stats is a problem, which includes with weapons. This entire season, okay, who else noticed that, like, Bungie goes and picks off a weapon, the fusion rifle, and they give it something good, and then they give so much more buffs to it, that the sniper rifle, which they have been nerfing to the ground, what's the point of it? Okay, here's the thing about the sniper rifle, which I do want people to realize something about. Okay, who else feels like the sniper rifle should be should be its own like category? Like, it's very long. It should be very long. I should not be feeling like I should need to go a lot closer to you to make sure I get a perfect headshot with no flint. Like, that is a stat. That is a part of the stat of the weapon. And I remember from that last video, like, even from specifically, I was purposely going to look at this, just see if they did anything with the sniper. The sniper, they did nothing to it. It's still the same. It's like they do something with the PvP, then they do something with that same thing with they do with PvP. They do with the PvE. It does not feel like worth it. It just feels like I should just go and quit, trying to make sure my stat is perfect. If I have to deal with that one, I'll make sure that everything is just terrible, and I'll just be terrible on my own. But yeah, no, the stats is a problem, and I feel like even with me being like powerful, like I just feel like I should be just stopped. Of course, there should be like some excuses, but no. This has been going on for a while, which I don't understand why it's not fixed. It's been going on since, and I will tell you right now, Destiny 1 was the best one for it. With the balancing, Destiny 2 was not it, and that's where it's going on with the stats. But remaking the armor, yes, you don't have to do that one, but then you also have to remember, like, this entire, you have so many of it. You have the entire game to look at, and then if you try to go back to every single one of these, like, things that I have made points of, they won't, I have a feeling they won't listen, okay? So this is more like a community, like, if they listen, like, they will listen, like, they will choose. But no, it's just a no for me. I feel like this should be like, if they have to do like a survey, which happens in like Apex sometimes, Fortnite sometimes, like, does a Car 96, like, do you feel like that's a good weapon to keep in the game? Like, yes, no, maybe so, yes. Everybody has been saying yes. I would say yes. And no, that's not a survey. Do you feel like this game matches your expertise? Like, no. Sometimes, like, I feel like I get the worst teammates. No. But they do something like that. Do it like in the middle of the game, and if they have a choice, like, whichever is on like Xbox, like whatever account you're on, then they should send it to that email. Have like more explanation, like or just do it on the console, do it somewhere. So then they can do like a quick survey how they can improve. Like, that is reaching out to the community on which they should be improving. I feel like they are just more business, and yes, that's where I feel like they are more of a business than anything I've ever seen. If I have to deal with a business company that does not have to deal with anything for the game, what's the point of playing the game when they care for the money in general? Of course, they're trying to support families, but I'm pretty sure that same person that have said, like, we are player based, money should be put on last of all is our last of all mind. Like, Halo 3 was saying it. They started doing the Halo 3 E3. I think it was before that one, but yeah, no, they was very small. They put that in. Now they're very big. Now look at it. just like no. Just if I had to watch them, if I have to make sure that um if I have to make sure like my game would be perfect, like as in like people enjoy, like they will spend like a couple hours on it, like that will be fine by me. But don't go and tell me that you feel like your game is perfect. Like no one's game is perfect in retrospect. Your game could be also shit, and you might be a big company. Call of Duty has been going off without now for a lot longer than you, Bungie. Like honestly, ever since um Cold War, they've just been downhill. Oh no, Infinite Warfare, they've been going downhill. Like it's been noticeable. They have like Modern Warfare, which they have said like yeah, it's going good, but that should not make an excuse on why are they making a game that feels like it is more of esports, which I feel like is more of Destiny 2. But like I said, so many of my things are also should be also be kept is being kept to myself. Like I have so many things, but these are like main topics that I can really say. There's like a couple things that I feel like should be talked about, but those are my own opinions. Like I'm gonna keep it to myself with opinions. I'd say like for like 4 topics. That's pretty much it. But other than that, I don't need to talk about. Um, but like I said, let me know on your opinions. Does Destiny 2 make you want to quit? Do they make you want to stay? Like, do you feel like is it because I'm just being biased? I just don't want to work the grind. But tell me if that's part. Like I said, the second one is yeah, I'm not willing to work for the grind. Like, tell me what is fun for the grind, and tell me what weapon is perfect for the grind. Like, if I have to spend if I have to spend like 45 days on one grind, and it happens like Trials of the Nine or Trials of the Size, whatever is going on right now, and that I have to like spend like 45 days just to get 45 weeks, sorry, to get flawless, like that is not worth my grind. Like I will tell you that is a negative on my end. Which also Trials of the Size is a topic I did not talk about. I'm not talking about because we have people who thinks good on it. I'm just no. But that is something new. So, but I also feel like that is more esport than anything. Okay. Anyways, like I said, let me know what you guys think. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe because I do want to know on how this game is to everybody. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you all later. Peace.